Yo, 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 welcome to Team Raddtitan, and today we are reviewing On the Road. We're at our boy Tony's place. If you haven't seen already, check out his room tour, and he's graciously allowed us to do the review of this Prime 1, The Dark Knight Returns. We're going to be looking over this piece, measuring it, spinning it, all that jazz. Stay tuned, yeah?
Alright everyone, we're back. As Gio was saying, we are looking at the Dark Knight. What is this? Is it Dark Knight?
I love Dark Knight Rises.
No, the Dark Knight. So yeah, this is a fragment of Dark Knight, and this is by Prime 1. Arguably, this is probably one of Prime 1's best pieces from their 1/3 line, in my opinion.
I concur. I second, sir.
Between this and probably the Deathstroke, which is up there, they are the two.
Yeah, Tony ain't playing games, is he?
No, it's not. It's not. They're the two of my favourite out. I've seen quite a lot of them. They're in hand. So what we do is do the usual. We'll go over this and should we start down low?
Yeah, start down low, my man.
So,
we're on a Lazy Susan, but I actually, Tony let me hold a lot of these pieces, and this is really heavy. I mean, this is super, super heavy. The base probably, is a good few kilos on its top, probably like 5 kilos maybe. It's really heavy.
Wow.
So on knee, take a knee.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, take a knee. Take a knee, get down. Go on. Kneel for your king.
Kneel. That's odd. All right. So when you look at the base, this is the mutant leader from the comic series.
Krang from Taylor's.
Yeah, it looks a bit like the like Bebop before he gets transformed
into a Pika warthog.
Yeah. So we got that there, and I think there are a lot of complaints about the nipples, but anywho. So you got the
might highlight actually, to be honest, after Tony told me that.
So it's a big old base, and it's actually probably bigger than a lot of the other Prime 1 bases for the line. As you go around, you spin it, and you got, like, as I say, all the concrete and everything on there.
Great paint effect actually, and these almost stained glass window frames, like around the edges, around the tops. That sort of like almost clover shaped thing that runs around the top. Obviously it's like detailing on cement or something like that. I think it's really classy actually. I love the highlighted colours, and it's got almost a dirty effect running into all the little grooves and things, which I really dig.
A big Batman logo on the back. It's almost a bit of a waste really to be there.
They do them on all of them, though, don't they? It's sort of like a stamp, so I kind of enjoy that.
Just turning this slowly because I really don't want this to fall over.
No, it's pretty secure up here. We just need to worry about the Besta collapsing into pieces. Yeah. If that does happen, I'm going to rugby tackle you out the door and I'm running. I'm leaving you to Tony. You can explain.
Yeah, so the base there, working away up, and then he goes up to the actual boots. Yeah. Boots that have got a really nice sort of leather look to them, all the nice grime going through them there. Yeah. And
beautifully done.
All
dirty,
dusty, nasty, grimy. Really, really well done there. And then you kind of work.
It has a sort of. It's quite interesting because it's got a similar type of material to the actual cape. Like if you get to the cape, it's got a similar sort of texture into the sculpt, which
it's like the really leather, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really clever, and it matches perfectly. I really love these lines and sculpt details that are on the trousers and the cuts. They're a bit weepy.
Yeah. So it's got like heavy gloss on them.
Yeah, it's got heavy gloss on them, so they look
like when you graze yourself.
Yeah, kind of grazed. It's not the cuts look fairly superficial, but like weeping and painful, which I really love. And looking at this up close, which you can't really see too much in pictures, there is a lot of colours surrounding these cuts. So not only is the sort of the material cut, but what you have is the skin's cut, and then inside the skin is where the sort of like juicy parts are, and then around the outside of the material is a bit like worn. And then it's got this colouring, sort of like almost like dirt, like he's fallen. You know what I mean? And that's like a comment that's going around pretty much most of them, which I love.
So it's almost like the blood's kind of bleeding into it, but it's also like he's as you say, he's kind of grazed himself.
Yeah, he's like fallen against something. Like it looks like he's basically come off his bike or come out of the car and like grazed across. But he's got loads of blade marks and scratches. I mean, it's got Catwoman written all over it on his shoulder.
I do love the way. They all look different. And now on there, like when you look in there, as you say, you can kind of see like the sort of skin and the kind of pinks of the flesh, and then it kind of goes deeper and it kind of goes a bit kind of like orangey. Yeah. And then it's like the blood in there. I really like that. I think they all look different. That's the thing. They all look totally and utterly different.
Yeah, this is not no standard battle damage crap going on. This is real effort.
You have like a graze there, and then exactly the same graze down on his leg. The sculpt is really well done there.
Yeah.
And then also you got the pouches there. So again, I mean, they've all got kind of different clips to them.
Yeah, different clips,
so you got
sizes. Worn. Good paint
like
details.
The yellow and then like weathered yellow. I do quite like this.
I think this is gorgeous.
This one actually was very.
It's actually bright. It's actually quite bright for the grey. No, because they're kind of like, you know, like with your one. What was your one? That crap one you had?
The Arkham Knight.
The Arkham Knight one was kind of like dull and a bit like, ugh. This has got like a little bit of some serious light highlights going through it, like the greys. It's actually quite a bright piece, which I'm pleased with. I mean, I think
it's just got like, you know, with the personally, not everyone thinks it, but with the kind of Arkham line, the colours are quite muted. They all blend into one, and they're very kind of dull for me. And they do look a bit. That might be a compliment, but they do look a bit like kind of like NECA figures, like a plasticky NECA figure to me. But with this one, you don't get that at all.
No,
I think with this one, you have really good sort of separation between the parts, and then I think the actual paint, even though, again, it's still the kind of dull colours, but I think the reds of the blood and then the yellow of the pouches kind of breaks out really quite nicely.
I mean, this thing as well, this real rope and this hanging, swinging blade, this just looks awesome.
Like a grappling hook type thing.
It looks sort of like a grappling hook / axe business. And it's like that's going to cut you up, man. It's like something I would try and build in my nan's shed when I was a kid. But I just love it. I mean, some great detailing, some great folds and things on the glove, and the articulation in the hands is like perfect. For me, this is probably one of the best Prime 1 pieces I've ever seen. It's definitely up there with Deathstroke. I would definitely put it on par. And the perfect Batman. If you're looking for a 1/3 Batman, this is the piece to get. While we're at that, we'll talk about the portrait in there. I mean, critique-wise, I would say probably the cape is a little thick. But the interesting thing is it doesn't look thick from this part. It looks kind of like it's thick from the side and from the back.
Yeah.
I said to Tony, I think that's probably for breakages reasons. It does feel like it might be.
Yeah, I definitely hear.
You know what I mean? It does feel like it's the sort of quite solid all the way through it. It is thick, but it's not like it looks like it's like high quality leather, sort of what it would probably hang like on him. It wouldn't be much functional. If you flung it at an enemy, you'd probably knock them unconscious with it. That's how thick it is. But actually, it doesn't really translate to being a thick cast until you sort of get to the sort of side part, and then you think to yourself, all right, where it's got all the jaggeds and the rips, which are really nice, and the bottom of it's all sort of muddy and a bit discoloured.
I mean, as you see on there, you start down, you got all the rips there, as George was saying, you got all the kind of weather in there where he's kind of been climbing up a building or doing whatever he's doing, and he's kind of been dragging it along behind him, and that looks really well done. I mean, that looks like it's painted like it is actually dirty.
Oh, it really does. It looks like Tony dusted his floor with it a little bit.
Tony was cleaning his garden.
Yeah, he was cleaning up, having a little sort out. I've got to say, I really dig this portrait as well. I mean, this is the standard version, which actually is quite impressive, because you get a switch out arm that's like just a standard fist, and then you get this awesome looking rifle.
I love the rifle. Yeah,
rifle's awesome. Why don't you chuck that rifle on there, and I'll put this one on here. You have to sort of try and be careful. You just be really careful. So I'm doing all this, am I? Right, so that's one hand that goes down.
Oh, there's this pegged as well, so
I want to just hold that. This is it? That's nice, magically full. Okay, so you can. This hasn't got no peg.
No, I'm saying, but this is. Which way does this go, Tony?
I've never actually posed it with that.
Really?
I think it's
Good
going.
time
I think
to tell
it goes
us
the other way. I think it points outwards. So he's got his hand sort of facing. His palm is out a little bit.
It's definitely got a hole in the centre of it into that thing. So that's obviously to take for the weight.
I think it's
like that. That's it.
Yeah.
So that is.
So it's not what you said.
No, I've never posed it.
Don't ask him.
It was straight in the box. I'd prefer the.
You're worse than Gary. Jesus, man.
I prefer the batter axe.
I like that.
What do you call it?
Batter axe.
Batter axe. Is that a real word?
No.
Is that copyright?
Copyright
Fair play. Nice. I actually really love this rifle. Obviously, right out of the comics, it's got the the sight on it. You got that sort of pump. What's that thing there? That's just like bolt. Yeah, it's like a bolt in it. Yeah, it's lovely. Beautifully done. And the wood effect that's running down the outside of the actual rifle.
I think,
itself,
I mean, like we've seen
perfect.
quite a lot of sort of guns on pieces, and normally like where you have the kind of barrel there and you would have the separation in the colour to the wood, and normally they're like messy on a lot of things, but this is really clean and really like, I do like again the way it is kind of worn. It's not a new gun. I like it.
Yeah, beautiful. And then you get this fantastic, you get a clean portrait with like a grimace on his face, and you get this busted up.
Yeah.
You get this busted up face, which I actually think looks a little, I actually think it fits that a little bit better. It looks like he's having some sort of blade fight with someone.
He put the bataracks.
Yeah, I'm taking that shit. I'm swagger jacked that. That is mine.
I mean, he's this is where he's kind of been having a proper fight.
Yeah, he is
probably
busted up.
I think he gets stung by the mutant leader at one point, and then he comes back, fucks him up. But I think that's all there. But yeah, no, the face is nice. I like that.
I mean, you can see some serious. I mean, it's under these lights. It's like glistening and shining. His teeth. But the teeth are funny because the sculpt is super clean and the teeth are white, but they look aged. Do you get what I mean by that, Tom?
Yeah.
What I'm talking about? Not they look like they look like an older man's who takes care of himself's teeth. Do you get what I'm saying? It's really unique. I've never seen anything like it before. It doesn't look. They don't look perfect, like perfectly straight, perfectly pristine, but they look like an old guy who's done some whitening, who's looking after his face, looking after his teeth.
Well, he's got the money, hasn't he?
He's got the money.
Well, he has, yeah. One of the things you always said you didn't like about us is you always said you didn't like the physique of this in comparison to, say, if you would have him next to Deathstroke. You said you don't think it would work. How do you feel about it now?
Oh yeah, I was chatting shit. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I don't think he looks as fat and squatty as in photos.
He's not fat. He's like big, solid.
No, in pictures, this statue looks squatty, fat, like a bit chunky, and not in a sort of. I mean, I can see his abdominals through it. I can see it on this piece. Now, I've not noticed that before from pictures.
Is the actual kind of version that Affleck's based
I
on?
don't. There's a custom of this. I hate the body. I don't know, who that's by, but I hate it. I don't like it at all. This for me is much better in terms of this looks like a real. It could be a real person. And some of those things I've seen of Frank Miller, it just doesn't look like a real guy. It looks like a fucking brick, and that's just not really what people can look like.
Well, I mean, the thing about the Frank Miller version is he's big. He's older. He's massive compared to he's not as lean.
Yeah. But I don't think that portrays here. I think it's a big Batman, but I don't think it's a big brick like. He's sizey. He's a good guy. I hope to be.
He's on TRT.
Yeah, he's on TRT, but good. He should be. Got to fight crime, man. He's one of the few people that need it. Fuck Victor Belfort for. He needs this more. Right, let's get on to some measuring, yeah?
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so from base to head, hands around 30, I would say it's around 32.5 inches, which is 83 centimetres.
The funny thing is like, when I was looking at this in this room, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, I thought you'd be much bigger, because I'm looking at all these half scale pieces.
Yeah, it looks smaller.
And then you're like, these are like 40 inches or 40 something inches, aren't they?
This one's around 40, 42.
Yeah. So you're like looking at these big ones, and you're like, look across at him going, actually maybe he would fit, where I thought he wouldn't. And then you look at it, and you're like, yeah, he wouldn't.
Take the width, go width-wise. Okay. So where are you at? Is that your widest point?
Probably about there-ish.
Right, so that's about, I have the base here. That's the widest point, and that's around, I'd say that's 21 inches.
Okay.
So,
Centimetres?
Oh, mother.
Every time.
53.
And what was the other one?
Height-wise, 30, I think it was 32. Yeah, 32, 81.
81, okay.
Big.
And then depth?
And then depth-wise, it has to really, I mean, we'll go to the point of the head here. Yeah, it's actually not too deep. That's strange.
What about here?
Yeah, I mean, the base-wise, it's about 13 inches, but the cape takes it around about 16 and a half, which is around 41, 42 centimetres. So, lose the cape, maybe. It's amazing, because you'd think it'd get into, I mean, obviously, width-wise, it ain't getting into it. Oh, right, so now I'm up and down and turning and stand back at quite a seat.
never take a need to do our little conclusion. You know,
Give me your quick critiques.
I actually think compared to a lot of the others, I do think this. I mean, the thing about Prime One pieces. I mean, I know we bitch about the Arkham line and we say that the paint's flat, and whatever else, but the paint is always perfect in the respect to there's never any overlap lines on Prime One pieces.
It's flawless. There's no doubt about that.
This paint is flawless as well.
Yeah.
There are so many, as I say, the pieces that would normally be kind of all over the place are like this. The bits on the guns, normally on any other piece, we've seen some really bad guns. Yeah. This is there's no issue there at all. No. The paint is pretty flawless wherever you look, and I think that's a very high quality paint. I do agree with Gio, and this part here of the cape, when you look at that and how thick that is really thick. Mm-hmm. And I think with some other pieces from some other companies where they've kind of had critique about capes or whatever being really thick, I think this is justified as well. Then I mean, I think looking at it from front on, you can't see it, but yeah, it's bad. He's really too thick. What they should have done is
pet poly,
kind of like had it, as it comes forward at an angle, so kind of like it's thinner at the edges,
over the top.
And then the bit here doesn't matter if it's thick because you can't really tell.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Like the way a knife kind of goes in. That's the point.
Yeah. The cape thickness is one point. I would probably say my only real critique of this piece is I would like to see maybe a different shade on this base, just a few different sort of colours, maybe just to brighten up a bit. I know that it's in keeping with the line and all of that and above, but the difference between sort of these blacks, these greys, and this is probably like it's all different shades of the same sort of colour. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a light grey. Yeah, it basically is. It's like a light grey, a darker type grey, almost charcoal black grey, and then you have the same on the base. It's like a shade of grey. I would probably like maybe, just a few more highlights in it. I really love the browns and all this. I love that part of it. Just I would like to see probably a few different, maybe, like a different colour from this actual guy to this part, so he's highlighted a little bit more out of there. Maybe a light cement colour here and a darker colour there, just to break it up a little bit. I would have liked that.
I mean, the thing is, it's quite a dark comic as well.
Yeah.
So probably one of the darker Batman stories.
Yeah.
But maybe
you get what I'm saying.
Maybe
light
what
here, a little
they
bit darker.
could have done is there's a window behind here. They could have done like a stained glass thing on the window just to add a bit of separation, possibly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm talking desperation here. This is really desperate.
Yeah, this is clutching.
This is clutching because there isn't much. I'm just saying, if you were one of them type of guys that really wanted something to moan about, these are probably the things you would. If I bought it, I would be delighted with it and I wouldn't have any complaints about anything on it. That's the brutal truth. I think it's one of the best Prime 1/3 scale pieces there is. I still rate Deathstroke as the best top, but as Batman's go, is the best for me, and it's easy.
I think it's in hand. Remember that, in hand at this point.
At this point,
possibly the.
I'm talking Prime 1 Arkham Batman's best one.
Okay. All right, guys.
Let's know what you think, man.
Yeah, do the usual: like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know you have the piece, what you're displaying with, and what you like and dislike about it.
Batman?
Is he the best Batman out there? So take care, guys.
Peace.
Peace. Hi everyone, Alec. Turn.
I'm sorry, I tut out loud.
You did. You said tut out loud. Hi everyone, Alex and Gio from Raddtitan.
Yo!
And we're doing a on the road visit to someone's house. Are we allowed to say his name? We're not allowed.
Well, we just call him Tony. You saw it. If you check out his room tour, Tony's a great guy. He lives actually not too far away from me, and we've just come to see his place. And we had to, while we were here,
take it over.
Yeah, do it again.
Right.
I was about to go. Wouldn't I?
God damn it.
Fucking run with it. You know what I mean? I can give it back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them guys that passes back, man.
Hi everyone, it's Gio and Alex from Raddtitan,
Yo, yo!
and we're doing a. No, it's going so well. No.
Right, would you like me to do the intro? I'll give you one more shot at it and then I'll do it.
What are we doing? We're on the road or how?
Yeah, on tour. Reviews on the road. Reviews on the road. We can pattern that shit.
Raddtitan on tour.
Raddtitan reviews on the road.
Okay.
Triple R, motherfucker.
Last one. Hi everyone, it's Alex and Gio from Raddtitan.
Yo, yo!
And we are doing a review today, and this is going to be of the Frank Miller Batman, and this is by Promon Studios. We're going to go over this, do the usual, apart from the weighing, but we're going to, and you've got to take measure.
You're out, I mean.
I'm out.
I've got to take
You got to take one.
Yeah. Good. My turn. Right.
The pressure does not suit me. How do I get my Pepsi Max?
Yeah. And no sugar for me.
Yo, 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 welcome to Team Raddtitan. And today we are on the road reviews and we're at our boy Tony's place. And he's been a good sport. We've done a nice tour and now we're going to be reviewing the Prime 1. I think this is the Batman Returns, a Dark Knight Returns piece. Yeah, Frank Miller. We're going to be running through that. We haven't got the scales with us, but we're going to have a little look at it, top to bottom. You know, give us our.
Yeah, 1 for 1. Yeah.
It was going so well, right?
It went bad from Raddtitan review.
Why was it a bit blurry? All right, I'll try again. 3, 2, 1, back in the room. Fucker.
Nailed that one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Didn't take me 4 fucking goes, did it? It took me 1 and I only fucked up because what did I do fuck up on?
Just rambled.
Yeah, I did ramble, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, take control.